My brothers and sisters, you might have heard of a legend that's been handed on down through the centuries. It regards St. Augustine of Hippo, a great philosopher and a theologian. He tells of an encounter that he had with a small boy playing in the sand along the seashore. Augustine was walking along nearby, trying to probe and understand the very mystery that we're celebrating today, the mystery of the Trinity. The saint noticed the boy busy about digging a hole in the sand and then wading into the sea to fill a small bucket with seawater. The boy then poured the water into the hole that he dug. He walked back and forth to the sea to get more water and to fill the hole back and forth. Augustine, seeing that, asked the boy what he was trying to do. The boy answered that he was emptying the sea into that hole that he dug. Augustine laughed at the impossibility as well as the futility of something like that. But the boy looked up to the saint and said that he would succeed at his seemingly impossible task long before Augustine would succeed at his attempt to unravel the mystery of the Trinity. The boy vanished from his sight. My brothers and sisters, the most accurate description of the Trinity, I believe, appears in the first letter of John, chapter 4, and chapter 4, line 8. God is love. Yes, my friends, our faith tells us that God does not live in a splendid isolation, but as a trinity of persons. It is the unfathomability of and intensity of love of the three persons for each other that binds them together in the one Godhead. The love that binds three persons together is as fruitful as it is intense. The fruit of that love is creation through which the Trinity's love finds concrete expressions outside of the Trinity. Pope Francis has written that the signature of the Trinity is embedded in every creature on earth. The Holy Father goes on to affirm that all creatures, great and small, are an image and a message of God's love for all of creation. Every one of God's creatures is a manifestation of the love of the three persons. That spills over into the creation that reflects God's grandeur, God's beauty, and the power of that love that is at the heart and the core of the Blessed Trinity's very being. We as human beings can reciprocate God's love, and that's what really, in a way, separates us from the rest of creation. The sun, perhaps, is a marvelous example of the splendor and the power of God's love. The sun makes life on the earth possible. St. Francis, in his Canticle of the Sun, prays with these words: "Be praised, my Lord, through all your creatures, especially through my Lord, brother sun, who brings the day, and you give light through him. And he is beautiful and radiant in all his splendor. Of you, Most High, he bears the likeness. Despite the sun's beauty and splendor, it cannot do what any child can do. A child rejoices in the sun's light and basks in its warmth. The child can recognize the sun as God's gift and joins with the angels and the saints in giving praise to the Creator. The sun knows nothing of its creator. My friends, our own exceptional place among all of God's creation carries with it a unique task that is ours. We are responsible for the welfare of the earth and the creatures with whom we share this home of ours. Pope Francis reminds us that we have no right to wantonly destroy what belongs to God. For example, we cannot ignore climate change. It's real, and we bear responsibility for it. Climate change is turning our earth into a place that is getting less hospitable, and it requires every human person to end this threat to life. My friends, we ought to be that child that praises God for the sun's light and warmth. We need to recognize and respond to the Trinity's love in all of creation, and is especially shown in the second person of the Holy Trinity, who becomes flesh and dwelt among us. Yes, the Incarnation shows us that the love of three persons for each other is not enough for God. God became a human being to induce us to experience and return divine love. Yes, God is love. God wants our love.